This is Simplified Success, the podcast, hosted by myself, Krystal Blackard.
And me, Lindsay Reynolds.
Between the two of us, we have cultivated over $60 million in sales online. We have led big teams and operated in very high pressure environments where leadership either frankly stabilizes or everything completely falls apart. Right, Linz?
Yeah. And everything else in between, from being each other's weddings to making sourdough, helping each other be good moms and raise kids. Man, we have a blast on here, and we feel just so excited to have you guys be hearing the podcast and be on here, because we feel like this is just a place for us to be able to pour back into you and serve well, from all the cool places that we've had the opportunity to. Our fun pastimes are whiteboarding out our next business opportunity. So welcome to
Absolutely.
our fun conversations.
Absolutely. We move fast and we build smart, and we have a lot of fun here. So welcome to Simplified Success, the podcast. Hello. Welcome back.
Yeah.
So today's kind of a special day for
Yeah,
Lindsay
it's
and
a
I.
first. This is like a first time thing. This is
Ever.
cool. Yeah.
And by
Yeah.
first, we mean getting to record live together in Lindsay's studio in her home office. And
Which is so
it's so cool. We're so excited. We're so here for it.
Yeah.
And we're so here for the journey. And honestly, just like being able to mark this place and time, just because it's been such a cool journey and we like to mark a spot. So today is what, February 17th?
Yeah, when we're recording it.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
actually recording it just because
Yeah.
we'll like that and we like to do that. So you guys, today we're super excited. We are not going to dilly-dally. We're going to jump right in because we have been working on a project, and interesting because as Lindsay and I have unpacked this journey of KL, we've talked to you guys. We knew that we were very much called to this platform. We knew that this was something that we weren't just like excited to do, that this was very much a calling on our lives to come and make this happen. And as we started, I think we kind of tiptoed around this initial pillar, I would say maybe,
Mhm.
because it's one that you have to approach with a lot of thought and a lot of consideration as you do it, because to whom much is given, much is expected, and you have to handle this one really, really well.
Yeah.
We did initially start out very intensely talking about selling and scaling businesses because that's something that Lindsay and I can do in our sleep, and we thoroughly enjoy it. It's easy and it just pours out of our soul, right? Like it's
Oh,
just
yeah. It's so easy. It's funny. Like we talk about it with our team, because our team is built of people who are like that too. And
mhm.
it's just so fun for us to have those kinds of conversations and
Yeah,
strategize and figure out how to those are just
right.
all kind of just a bunch of $10 words, but we just really like doing it. It's
We
so
enjoy
fun.
it.
Yeah.
We enjoy it, and we've also made a living doing it. I mean, literally, I've spoken to this. I've never had a job.
Yeah.
I've never ever been employed except for in high school. Have I ever been employed? I've always had to live on what I could make in sales arena.
Well, and I think too, the reason why it always comes up, right, is
Mhm.
when we get a phone call or if somebody's talking to us, generally speaking, the conversation turns to that, because that's where we're seeing an authority perspective. But I think what we're going to talk about today is the thing that allows us to be the people that people ask that to. And I don't mean that from a braggadocious perspective, but from a consistency and,
It's what qualifies us.
well, not even, I don't even know if that's I think it's the thing that makes us consistent over time. So there's
Yep.
a lot of people, and this is not throwing rocks at anybody. And there's a version of us who didn't have this really well integrated, that were like the roller coaster. I feel like was it Steve we were having this conversation with, or I
Mhm.
can't remember who we were
Probably.
but we
Probably.
were talking about this idea of the roller coaster up and down. Maybe it was a previous podcast. I know it was a
Russ.
podcast, Russ, so it
Russ.
hasn't gone live yet, but it
Yep.
will.
You will.
But there's a conversation we had about people and how you function and lead through the ups, downs, right?
Right.
And so I think part of why we've become people who the first conversation we have is all of the other stuff, the business and all of that, is because we've done a pretty good job around this thing that we're about to talk about,
Mhm.
to where this looks more like this,
Yeah.
right?
And even
And even
towards this,
right, and even if it is
which this is the goal,
right, and even
consistency. Yeah.
because life happens, and
Mhm.
we're not always at the easiest of seasons. Even when the world is doing this around us, we're more here. And I
Mm.
think that's more the difference. It's
Mhm.
not like when you conquer this thing we're about to talk about, that all of a sudden the wage no longer exists. That's not true. Because
Well, and I don't think you ever conquered. I think you just learn to master it and you walk in it and
yeah,
you keep it's a
yeah,
muscle that you
better
grow.
better word.
Yeah.
But
It's just like
I think it's important to note that it's not like the waves go away.
no, you just get better at shielding the attacks and
And
the
becoming.
navigating
Yeah.
and the becoming. So Lindsay and I actually had some pretty good um pre-qualifying just discernment that this was the path we were going on. In July, we very much delivered one of our very first cinder blocks in this pillar, kind of think about it methodically, with the Untangled Journal. And then in January we rolled out the Aligned Life. And interestingly enough, those were our two offerings that brought in the very most, like, people went crazy over those two things. Like, and the really cool thing is, like, we gave those completely free. Like, there was no gatekeeping. Like, the deep dive masterclass parts of it, yeah, you have to come into like a different container to get that. But like the tools and everything, like, man, we gave it away because the world needs it.
Well, I almost think that's why. So we, the reason, so over the last, call it 6 months, for that example,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't been as loud in places
Mm-hmm.
because we've gone really introspectively to create the tools that we know
Uh-huh.
that that we have at an integrated level that we just do now to keep us balanced in those waves.
Yeah, like, we actually use these tools.
Yeah.
We don't create them to give them away. Like, we create
No.
them to save our own tail.
Well, and there are resources that we were using in pockets that we
Right.
made something that could be used by like not one of us.
Correct.
But I think that's an important note is like we like if you look at all social, all of our stuff, like we have been sort of quiet over the last little bit. Not as much as we had been, right? Because we've gone really introspective to really get clear on
Mm-hmm.
how we do this so well. And
Mm-hmm.
and also as always, like reflective of where we have opportunities to be better and what tools we needed at one point and what tools we need today. And so I feel like when we came out with these two resources,
Uh-huh.
they really are the things that we have been doing innately that are integrated today in both of our lives,
Mhm.
but that are things that at one point we didn't have. And that's why the waves were like I feel like it's the difference between like sitting on like I don't surf, but like sitting in like just right like the waves hurting versus going with the wave.
Right.
And I think that's really the fundamental difference when you integrate this stuff, it allows you to go with the wave rather than pushing up against
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's why this is so important. Like this is the piece like we were talking about this today. Like you can do all of the other stuff. You can do the cafe, you can do the connecting, you can do the social media, you can do the sales, but it's never going to work consistently and it's never going to feel you may get the result. It's never going to feel the way that you thought it was going to feel
Mhm.
until you really integrate this work in a way
Mhm.
where the waves don't they become a thing for a minute or a couple minutes while you process, but it doesn't become a problem for the week.
When you know what you stand for, you're willing to take the hits.
Yeah, it's just
R
totally different.
Really what it boils down to. Okay, so
Yeah.
what is this thing that Lindsay keeps talking about? She keeps going on and on. It's like, what is this thing? Okay, so we're gonna tell you. Um, and you're gonna laugh, but it's becoming an unshakable human, an unshakable mother, an unshakable father, an unshakable wife, husband, an unshakable what is that? What are all those things under? An unshakable business mind, an unshakable entrepreneur. What do all those things have in common that they have to do? Yeah.
So it's about becoming an unshakable leader
Right.
in every
It's
part
a
of your life.
leader. So I don't
Cultivate
want
yourself.
anybody listening to this thinking like, "Oh, I don't lead." Oh, yeah, you do. You lead to some capacity.
Mhm.
And at the very least, if the only person you lead because you live on Lonely Island with a dog is yourself, then you still have to lead.
Yeah.
And so it is the unshakable leader. I don't want leader to be a place where people stumble and think this work isn't for them, because that's a really, really important call out. And here's the thing. Here's why I think we went back to this and why we built this the way we did. We built we built a tiny piece of this, and then we built sales operation, and then we built scale operation because Lindsay and I are so excited, so passionate about this, and because we had done a lot of work here. And then as we started to coach and we started to grow and we started to see the clients in our sacred space come in, they were like, "Oh, this is great." And we saw them struggle with gaps, struggle with showing up, struggle with consistency, struggling with like just doing the things every single day that you have to move the needle. Like, I'm going to speak really frankly here. Like I said before, I've never had a job. I've never had anybody give me a paycheck. I have literally lived in the space where I eat what I kill. I'm a hunter. Like, that's what I have to do. I mean, I know that sounds a little bit like rash, and so forgive me, but welcome to entrepreneurship. Like, you don't get to sit there on a fluffy white pillow and it just comes to you. You have to be willing to go out and do the work. You don't just get to throw a line out and fish. You go hunt. Okay. And as I started watching and mentoring and coaching these people, bringing back to my previous sales experience, and I'm like, the problem is these people aren't unshakable, but they don't know how to be. They don't have the correct tools. And so
Well, and oddly enough, when you become an unshakable leader, you don't have to hunt this.
no, you don't.
That's where I think like people will hear that and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go hunt sales.
No, it's not about hunting sales. It's
Yeah.
not about hunting sales. It's about getting up every day. It's the difference between getting up every day and looking for inspiration and being the inspiration.
It's about leading yourself. And so I think that's where it's interesting is like people have asked that too. Like, how does this work? How do you end up with, this business, all of those things? And it's because of, and all those opportunities. We get opportunities, we get asked. There's just something that we turn down. Like there's just like a volume of things. We just can't do it all.
Mhm. But like Lindsay said, we just can't do it all. And so as you are putting this out there and you're putting this together, there are three very specific things that we are going to teach in this section. And I'm going to go ahead and go through them because I think it's important. And the way we break this down, because it's very methodical, like there is a very much a science and an art to it. And mathematically, I can show you the mathematical equation about why this works. Like I have to have, like things have to mathematically make sense to me. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to learn as you go through this, and this is what truly makes you unshakable as a human. You learn this work is so simple. Like when you hear it, you're like, it makes sense, it clicks, and then you're like, I can't believe I haven't ever understood this. And then it's one of those things like you do the best you can, and when you know better, you do better. So the first thing that you learn how to do is you learn how to absolutely flourish during your hardest seasons. There is an art to that. You hear that, people are like, oh yeah, be grateful in the trials. Like yeah, just be thankful. Okay, great. How do you do it? How do you flippin' be grateful in the trial? How do you thrive during the hardest seasons of your life? How do you look at yourself with your back against the wall, needing to feed 3 little kids, 0 money, having a horrible marriage and relationship, like bills piling up, and you actually go out there and you thrive and you make it happen. Okay, there's an art to it. I can teach you because I lived it. I know how to do it. The reason I know how to do it is because I had some fantastic mentorship and I went out and seeked it. You probably not gonna figure this out, just to be super clear with you. You need guidance on this. Number 2.
Which is honestly like a huge thing in being an unshakable leader. Is
Yes.
with them.
Yes.
And mentorship.
Oh my gosh, like
people in your corner.
I still work with the same mentor that I have been working with for over a decade in this particular arena. Actually, I have 2 of them. I still work with those mentors because I check myself. And it's cool because now, yep, it's cool because there's 3 levels to this. You learn it, then you teach it, then you master. I definitely would speak to myself as somebody who's mastered it. That's what my mentor has said to me. But even in mastery, you still go to your mentor and you say, this is what I'm thinking. Help me check if this is absolutely correct because I'm not going to mess this up because I'm so committed to this process because when I get this right, the right pieces fall into place. Okay. Super important. Number 2, learning exactly what you want out of every situation in life and then the process and how to get it. Okay. This sounds a little bit manipulative. And so I'm going to clear this up a little bit. But in life, we all have a deep need to be seen, to be heard, to be felt, to receive love. And we don't realize that 95% of our actions are counteractive to getting that actually done. Okay. There is a really simple mindset shift that we make as human beings, very biblical, because everything that we teach is very much in biblical alignment, that actually puts you in a position to get everything in life you want. And I'm not going to go into this here because this is a really deep dive.
We're going to go through and talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
this is deep.
We're going to be talking about this.
This is deep, but you need to understand, like, once you master and once you learn this second quadrant of becoming unshakable, there's literally nothing in life that you can't get. You want your husband to speak to you kindly and respectfully. You master this, it'll happen every single time. You watch. You want your kids to start being obedient and obeying you and acting proper and stop being awful and stop being hard to manage. You master this one, it'll happen.
From like a place of teach. It's such a different energy because it sounds authoritative, but it's not.
No, it's actually the
also
most.
Not like Genie. This isn't like that either, and I think it's important.
No, but it's so powerful. It almost feels that way when you master it. When you and that's why I'm saying it's biblical principle. We're not going to dive into it here because it's such a deep, but it's literally understanding how to always achieve that in life and to do it in a way that is so biblically aligned. It will blow your socks off. The coolest place that I've seen this transpire is with my personal relationships, my kids, my friendships, my marriage, and then being able to take it over, integrating into work
Yeah.
places and being able to see it happen fast. Because sometimes when you get stuck in the cycle of like, I just need to be seen, I just need to be heard, I just need to be filled, I don't feel loved, I don't feel like I'm being, you're in a really selfish season and you have to figure out how to get out of that. We teach that in this part. This is like so cool, and I get so excited about this. Okay, moving on to the next one. You can tell I'm a little lit about this. The third one, and maybe the coolest one, is unleashing your human superpower. So again, very biblically aligned, but being able to understand the power that is within, the power that God gave us, and understanding how to unleash that in a way where nothing you walk through phases you. And I'm not saying that you don't have heart. I'm saying that you are unshakable. And this is the last step. The first two lead into this third one. And I'm telling you, when you master this one, you live in so much freedom and so much peace. It you'll never go back. And I'm just gonna say this. This is probably, in my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. It's my opinion. But I would stand on a hill. I really would. In my opinion, this is the number one thing that humans are distracted from, do not understand, and do not know that they possess. That this was something given to them and printed into them from God Himself. And they don't know how to access it. And it is not what you think. Not what you think. And I'm very purposeful in I'm not gatekeeping.
No, it's just
No,
a process.
but this is
It's
a very much a
a process.
process. And
It's not like one of those like, oh, I have the answer, thus I have the answer.
then here's the adjective, and then no, it's not that way. This is very much a process.
Because like I
And
think part of it too is like we've gotten so used to like, a 37-second reel that gives you the like
mhm,
we've gotten so programmed to think that everything can be a quick this. And I think that's part of the detriment of all of this. It's
mhm,
actually causing this thing, because this is this core thing of being an unshakable leader is the difference in your relationships, is the difference in your business, is the difference in every part of your life. And we've been programmed by the social media and the way that we get advertised to and all of that
mhm,
to expect those kinds of things to happen quickly. And those are integration things that take some time for you to integrate at a level where
uh-huh,
they become a muscle. Just like when you
absolutely.
go to, like we were talking about yesterday, like building muscle takes 6 weeks before you see a difference in muscle. This is a very similar thing. And so we can't show you every single lift now today and have you get the result tomorrow. That's not how that works. It's very much similar to that of like
This is
building
a
muscle.
high level overview and a result. We're absolutely showing you a result.
Yeah.
Um,
Like here's your body for the body
and
conference
and I will also say this.
competition.
Yeah, I will also say this.
Yeah.
This is probably some of the most important work as a human you can ever embark on a journey of, because it is that effective for change.
And for peace. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, even if being an unshakable leader doesn't seem like something you align with, what about having a life where no matter what comes at you, you have a level of peace and you know how to take the next step
Mhm.
and you're comfortable with taking just a step you can see. Like
Mhm.
that in itself brings a level of peace that honestly you can conquer the other things that we teach and other things that we do, but without this peace, like it will never feel the way you want it to.
Mm.
And this is why everybody skips that.
Yep.
I also don't think anybody communicates, quite frankly, how important this part is
Yeah.
in it feeling the way you want it.
So, with that said, we are Lindsay and I are hosting a mini intensive about this
Yeah.
for because we are taking this into TBA. Of course, we're going to do a long expansion into TBA.
Yeah.
But if you are ready to scratch the surface and you're ready to learn about this, we are doing a mini intensive. So
Yep.
it doesn't matter if this is live and the intensive will live on. You can catch it. We will have links to that in our show notes
Yep.
today.
Yep.
And
And it's structured the way it is on purpose because of what it is.
correct.
For this work to genuine and I mean, being frank, when you guys say it's a very low ticket investment, there's a reason why it's not.
There is.
And
Because
so it's not because um this shouldn't be free. It's not a matter of that or as I said, gatekeeping. There is something psychological that needs to happen for you to be able to hear this, and part of it has to be an investment piece, and part of that comes from you taking that step.
correct.
And so that's why when you see this, like when you do go see that, like there is a small investment, but it's not about the money. It's about step that it takes for you to have the investment to get this kind of change.
Yeah, it's about the commitment.
Yeah. So
So
I just want to note that whenever
yeah,
I think it's
yeah,
important to know.
I think that's good.
We're not like,
And
oh, it's this cool shiny thing come behind a paywall. It's not about the paywall. This is
no,
all very intentionally designed for you to get to the other side of this. And this is literally the steps in which you need to take. That part is part of it.
yep,
So I
exactly.
just want to note that.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah, we're super excited. So check it out.
check it
If
out.
you have questions, you can always shoot us a DM. You can, our team, like we are always behind there. So if you get a response in an email or a DM, that is a human being. That is
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah,
we do have automation set up, but like that is not if you send us a message, we are responding.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep,
So please do. But
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. Thank you guys. Have a really good day, and
Yeah,
we'll see you on the next podcast for the mini intensive.
yeah.
So
See you
have a good
soon.
day.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Well, thank you so much for listening today. We are so glad that we got the opportunity to spend this time with you. If as you were listening and things felt like wow, or you had one of those moments, those are our favorite. If it's like, oh, that's a nugget, man, we hope that you stick around. We want you to subscribe, and that way you can hear all of the amazing things that we're going to be riffing about and give us some feedback on all the things.
Absolutely. Everything we teach comes from real live experiences. We don't build any tools that we ourselves have not had to use and have been absolutely desperate for ourselves. And so, building crazy revenue streams, building under pressure, turning chaos into structure is actually what we do best. And we have learned from some of the lowest of lows and gotten to come back on top of the mountain. So, thank you for taking that time to listen with us.
Yeah. So make sure you tune in, continue to steal from our 10,000 hours and the amazing guests that we get to bring on the podcast so that you can continue to grow, learn, and be the best version of yourself. So tune in for the next one. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.